On this day in 2014, the WWE Network launched, and although it's not around anymore, its impact will be felt forever. The WWE Network was a streaming service that gave fans all over the world access to decades of wrestling history at their fingertips for a monthly fee. Before the network, if you wanted to watch old wrestling matches, your choices were limited. So if you live outside of the States, you are missing out. And realizing that the main event was on Hogan versus Andre, but rather the Ultimate Warrior. We've seen what happens when wrestling companies don't promote their history correctly. Look at TNA. Their TLC match at WrestleMania 2000 is one of the greatest hardcore matches of all time, between 2014 and 2016. It was trendy for young wrestling fans to make videos reacting to classic wrestling matches for the first time. Thanks to the WWE Network, they no longer had to rely on low-quality uploads from YouTube. Instead, they could screen record matches directly from the network and upload their reactions. As a result, we saw a massive amount of videos reacting to everything from the Montreal Screwjob to Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle at No Mercy 2004 to the Ultimate Dream match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. It was awesome seeing all these videos pop up on YouTube and seeing how much the wrestling community embraced it. Some of these reactions were funny, some were serious, and some were a mix of both. Either way, they sparked a love of wrestling history in a whole new generation of fans. Unfortunately, as time went on, these types of videos started to die out. One reason for this is that WWE began cracking down on copyrighted material on YouTube, leading to many of these reaction channels closing shop. The second reason is that the kids who were in high school or middle school when the WWE Network first launched have either grown out of wrestling or stopped making YouTube videos. Either way, these videos played an important role in preserving wrestling history and reminding people of the greatness that happened before their time. Plus, Crash was a breakout star that helped legitimize the hardcore division and showed that smaller wrestlers can succeed in WWE. WWE will never go back to the ways of the past, where fans have to rely on low-quality YouTube videos or expensive DVDs. Now that wrestling fans have experienced the convenience of watching anything they want at any time, they will always expect that option to be available to them. So WWE will never be able to take that away. What's your favorite memory of the WWE Network? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media. Thanks for watching. Yet somehow, he remains largely forgotten despite having all the evidence needed to remind people of his greatness being uploaded to the WWE Network. Another example is the APA. This powerhouse tag team was one of the most dominant forces during the late 90s and early 2000s. They won the WWF Tag Team Championships 4 times and feuded with the best teams in the industry, including Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and more. Once again, all their matches were readily available on the network. So why do so many people forget about them? Well, the answer is simple. The APA weren't good talkers, and WWE rarely promotes legends unless they're good on the microphone. Even though they should be in the conversation for the greatest tag team of the Attitude Era, the APA remained relatively unknown to newer fans, because WWE didn't think their mic skills were up to par with the Hardys, Dudleys, or Edge and Christian. Yet thanks to the WWE Network, fans could see that the APA were far more than just good talkers. They were legitimate tough guys who brought hardcore matches to a whole new level. Again, the same goes for wrestlers like Taz, who was a dominant force in the early 2000s, but has also been largely forgotten since then. His pure wrestling skills were undeniable, but he couldn't cut a promo to save his life. So once again, the WWE Network allowed fans to see beyond his shortcomings on the microphone and appreciate him for the great wrestler that he was.
Ow.
After filing for bankruptcy in 2013, TNA ceased operations shortly thereafter, leaving behind a legacy that will never be remembered because they failed to preserve their history properly. Although WWE has done a better job than TNA at promoting their past, the company is still guilty of not giving their history the respect it deserves. When it comes to the Attitude Era specifically, WWE tends to only focus on the big names like Stone Cold, The Rock, and DX. However, thanks to the WWE Network, fans were given the opportunity to discover some of the hidden gems that made the Attitude Era so special. Watching Andre face off against the Texas Rattlesnake at Survivor Series, 1991, and being amazed by the size of both men. Seeing the legendary career of Ricky Steamboat for the first time, including his incredible Intercontinental title match against the Macho Man at WrestleMania. 3. Experiencing the brilliance of the Montreal Screwjob for the first time and realizing it was into work after all. Realizing that Shawn Michaels was right when he said that Razor Ramon was the best 12-12 in history. Watching the original hardcore matches between Mick Foley, Terry Funk, the Dudley Boys, Sandman, and others. All of these moments were made possible thanks to the WWE Network. For the rest of us who grew up without the internet, or even without cable TV, the WWE Network was nothing short of revolutionary. If you went to one wrestling event during the network era, you would have conversations with people there about various matches and moments you had only heard about through word of mouth. It was an amazing way to discover the history of the business and learn about everything you missed out on. It also brought back fond memories of the Attitude Era for those of us who were old enough to remember it. Suddenly, we could relive the glory days by watching entire events from start to finish. Not just the 10-minute highlights shown on YouTube, thanks to the WWE Network. Millions of new fans discovered the legendary matches that happened before their time, while longtime fans got to revisit the classics that they loved. You could buy DVDs from the WWE shop, which were usually quite expensive. You could find some random low-quality uploads on YouTube, or you could beg and steal to try and track down old VHS tapes. But now with the network, fans could watch every pay-per-view event in history. Old episodes of Raw and SmackDown, going back to the very first episodes, plus classic wrestling from WCW and ECW. There was also tons of original content like the 24 series, the E! True Hollywood Story series, the first ever NXT TakeOver specials, and more. In the US, this massive library is now available on Peacock, but the WWE Network is still around in other parts of the world. Some of my favorite memories during the network era include watching WrestleMania 7 for the first time. When it comes to professional wrestling, the ability to promote events from years gone by is critical to the overall success of the business. For example, one might argue that the Hardcore Holly versus Crash Holly feud was one of the most exciting things to happen in the Attitude Era. While the WWE Network did allow fans to rediscover some of the hidden gems from wrestling history, it also gave rise to a new generation of wrestling historians. Although the WWE Network is no longer around, its impact will be felt forever.